Hi YouTubers, so I'm just thought I would sit down on my rocking chair and do a little quick video about what I discovered, just symptoms that I saw before I knew I was pregnant. You'll have to excuse me because I've got the loudest neighbours ever and they're just having some crazy weekly party thing, so I just try and switch off from it because I get so annoyed with them. So yeah, moving on. So yeah, what I had, symptoms that I had before the missed period was, this is going to sound like a really strange one, but when I went to the loo, and I'm going to be graphic here because there's no other way to explain it, but you know when your wee comes out, it wasn't straight down as normal, it was kind of going from one side to the other. It just, the flow was different. And so what I realised that was the pressure and the inflammation and what was going on around there was creating that, because that was something that was unusual. And I was actually pregnant before, which I did miscarry, and I had exactly the same thing. So that's something to look out for, is that when you're going to the loo, it comes out like two separate ways or three separate ways rather than a direct flow. So that's something to look out for. Also, I had quite a lot of swelling in my stomach, and when I looked at the timing of when I had the swelling, it was too early, so I sort of knew something was going on then. And also, I just had a gut feeling that I was, and I think everybody knows the body well enough to know that they have that sort of feeling that they are or that they're not. And I had taken a test and it came back negative, but I still had the feeling that I was. And at that stage I wasn't sure whether to hang fire in regards to having children, whether to give it some more time after the miscarriage or not, because I'd read that if you get pregnant too soon afterwards it can be a bit of a problem. So I didn't know if I just needed to give it a couple more months. So I had actually booked an appointment to go and get an emergency coil fitted. And I had a bit of a premonition, which was me having a conversation and then them saying, do you remember the time that you was going to get the coil fitted and you wouldn't have had this now? And that premonition to me spoke volumes, because I thought to myself, something is telling me that I already am, and don't go for that appointment. And then lo and behold, I was. So I think that's what it is. It's just looking out for a couple of symptoms like that. Every person is different. Don't presume that just because you read something and it says, I had this, I had that it means that it's gospel, that means that you are. Obviously, the only way to fully know is by actually doing the test and waiting until after a missed period to know if you're going to get a positive result. And that's the only way of knowing for sure, obviously, but these are things to look out for. And I know there's a time period where you will feel anxious because you're thinking, am I not? And you're looking out for every single little thing to know if you are. But deep down, you will know. I didn't even do the temperature check. Some people do that to see if there's a pattern, to see if their temperature is elevated and if it stayed elevated. I decided that I wasn't going to do that, because during that time of when you're trying to get pregnant, if you stress yourself out, it can just not happen. And I knew that by me checking temperatures daily, I was going to keep myself in an anxious state, like, wanting to be. And then I thought, no, if it's meant to be now, it'll be. And that's the best way to think. And throughout the whole time of conception, on both occasions it happened really fast, and I do think it's because I didn't put that pressure on myself. I had the mindset of, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. When it's meant to be, it will be. And that is some of the best advice I can give for trying to conceive, because you don't want to be stressing yourself out too much about it. And I did turn 37 at Christmas, so that goes to show that, I was pretty impressed of how quick it took me on both occasions. And I can only probably put it down to the fact that I had a quite relaxed approach to it. So during that time when you want to conceive, just having a bit more of a relaxed approach to it. And I think you'll find it does actually happen a lot faster when you try and have that mindset. So yeah, if you think like that and have a bit more self-care, you know, pamper yourself a bit more through that process, do not stress yourself out, and try and look for those symptoms what I had and see if it sort of correlates with what you're going through at the moment. Okay, bye.